What's up, YouTube? I'm going to go ahead and put the camera on this little stand here. Okay. What's up, YouTube? Nuclear Black here again. And I was compelled to come out here and make this video because it's something that's on my mind. Because I know when a lot of people see my videos, they are going to be they're going to be split, obviously. And there are going to be people that believe that my views are just as bad as the right-winged retards out there, like people like James Yeager, for instance. And it is not. What I want to say on this video is I want to challenge people that think my videos are insightful and whatever you may think, whatever negative quality you think they may bring. I want to challenge you to pick apart my videos and try to challenge me on what you think is wrong with my views, for number one, and why I shouldn't feel the way I feel about what I feel it about, for lack of a better way of putting it. I want you to challenge me and tell me why I shouldn't feel that us as human beings should have to wait for the police to police themselves, which basically, and I will go back a modest 40 years, and I like to use, which you hear me use quite often, is the era of around the late 60s to the mid 70s, when that pig Frank Serpico exposed the corruption in New York City. And we know that Chicago and all the other big cities had their share of massive corruption and savagery and everything that we see today, pretty much. The only thing is they're not openly shaking down the prostitutes and the pimps and the drug dealers. They've either went underground with that or otherwise, like the mob. Anyway, moving on. Why shouldn't I feel that way about something that hasn't changed in 40 or 50 years? I want you to challenge me on that. I want you to tell me why we as citizens, as human beings out here, under the scrutiny and under the dictatorship of these sanctioned domestic terrorists we call law enforcement, why should we wait for them to get their shit together, and in the meanwhile they keep killing and beating and intimidating and doing what we know them to be doing? We know this. This is not something that is this is not something new to us. Okay, this has been going on for decade after decade after decade, and it seems to be getting substantially worse as time goes on. As their powers continue to build, they continue to stack powers on top of powers, enabling these sanctioned domestic terrorists to have just a supernatural type power, that a superhuman force behind them that is pretty much unstoppable unless the people stand up and start stopping them. They're giving themselves laws. They're making laws for themselves, pretty much. The Supreme Court, the federal government, the people that are charged with policing the police are not doing it. They are steady making it harder for these people to be prosecuted or to be reined in from their swath of destruction that they leave every year. They leave a swath of devastation, of death and destruction every year. every year for the last 40 years, modestly, and I'm going back a modest 40 years to the 70s, and you know, that's being modest. We know this is going on way before that, um, and they are making it harder and harder. And I want you to tell me why we have to wait for them to get their shit together. As in the meanwhile, we still continue to get Michael Browns, and we get Eric Garners, and all the other examples. And I'm not just talking black deaths. I am talking, this is not all about murder. This is about the overall, um, the overall blueprint, the overall aura of law enforcement that permeates with dictatorship type qualities, and the trigger happy nature, and the brutal nature, and the nuclear nature of going nuclear at the drop of a dime, and uh, just not being able to exercise your rights even when you know you are being done wrong. If you say something to one of these terrorists, these domestic terrorists, you are susceptible to a fucking broken jaw, or worse, or you could lose your life. This is substantiated and verified in hundreds and maybe thousands of examples, once again, on YouTube. And you don't need to believe me. All you need to do is go to YouTube and do a little surfing on your own, and you will see that I speak the truth. From 12-year-old kids being punched in the face, to handicapped men being punched out of their wheelchairs and brutalized, to 80-year-old men being brutalized, to 70-year-old women being beat up, to 16-year-old girls being pummeled and having their fucking faces broken, to 100-pound, 90-pound women being attacked by 200-plus pound officers and having their fucking faces broken. Things like that occur every year. Every single year, we see these things go on. And too many are not reported. Just way too many. I mean, if they reported every incident that these sanctioned domestic terrorists are responsible for, we wouldn't have time to report anything else, because the fucking news would be clogged up with the gunky fucking bullshit that these savages represent. The savagery they represent would gunk up everything over the airwaves, and we wouldn't have time to report anything else if that was the case. Why should we sit here like good little dogs, like dogs, that are waiting to be told what to do, and good little puppy dogs, and just sit here and do what we're told and wait till we're told what to do, and wait for them to get their shit together and stop doing what they're doing when they are in control of themselves? Does that make sense for you? Does it make sense to you that we should do that? We've been waiting for decade after decade after decade after decade, and nothing has happened. All the marches by these so-called black charlatans that are supposed to represent the black race and are supposed to represent civil rights, these bojangling, buck-dancing minstrels, if you will, courtesy of David Carroll, and I borrowed that from him. Thanks for that, because it fits. And do we have to, nothing has happened after all of this. All their buck dancing and bojangling has done nothing for for us as black people, nor has it done anything for you white folks. It hasn't done anything for Asians and everyone else out there, every race, every sexual preference, everyone out there that has been a victim of these sanctioned domestic terrorists that are out here running wild, uh, and sanctioned by our government and protected by our government. Why do we wait? Why should we wait for them to react and do something when we have seen uh, nothing done for the last 40, 50 years? And here we are today in 2014. It's about to be 2015 in 4 days, 3 days. And here we are in one of the biggest issues of the day is the tyranny of these sanctioned domestic terrorists. Uh, Two of these pigs are dead because of their own tyranny, because of their own actions. There are two pigs dead because of their own actions, and they're out here blaming the mayor like total fucking retards. They're blaming the mayor, they're blaming everybody else when they should be standing in the fucking mirror looking at the cause of the deaths of those two slabs of fucking swine that they buried a couple days ago. Okay, there's your answer. You want to know what the incitement for that was? The incitement was the actions of the NYPD against one of its citizens. They summarily murdered and executed a man in real time for the world to see. And as Ismail Brinsley specified in his Instagram account, he was coming to New York for that reason. Not just that reason, for the Mike Brown and just the savagery of pigs in general. Okay, he gave an overall view of why he was coming to New York to waste these fucking pigs. And he came there and did it like a fucking superhero. And my hero, by the way, my hero. Okay, and no fun intended on that as far as I'm as straight as can be. Let's get that straight. I am a straight man, though I don't have anything against homosexuals, lesbians, or anything. I am totally independent of those type of shallow thoughts and shallow views on people and what they want to do with their lives. I think people are free to do whatever the fuck they want, how they want to do it, as long as they're not hurting anyone else. And that's more than I can say for these fucking sanctioned domestic terrorists who are out here pretty much just running wild and killing, intimidating, hurting people. They are out here hurting and killing people, the bottom line. And we are supposed to wait for them to rein themselves in. Is that it? Is that what you're going to challenge me on? You're going to say that despite my fellow human beings out here dying and being intimidated and kept in a state of fear when confronted by these savages, you don't know if you're going to live or die, pretty much. And they're supposed to wait and be calm as they're beaten and intimidated and humiliated and having their families fucked with when they report these pigs and being threatened and having their lives just fucking fucked with, for lack of a better way of putting it. And we're supposed to wait for that, huh? We're supposed to just sit here and just go ahead and just take it for a little while longer, right? Let a few thousand more people die, or a few hundred more. One is too many. A single victim is too many. That's my point. One victim is too many. Just a single victim, once again, is too many. Why is it wrong for me to think that we need more Ismail Brinsley's out here putting in work to rectify this problem that it is very clear the people that are charged with policing the police are not capable of. Why should we do that? Why should another human being lose his or her life over this while waiting for these motherfuckers to get it together, which is never going to happen, by the way. I blame this a lot on white people, and I'll tell you why. Because most of you conservative white folks are pro-police, and you have put these police since 9/11. You have put these police in a position where, on a pedestal where they cannot be taken down from. You have created a monster by giving them and tripling and quadrupling and sextupling their fucking powers to the point where they're now unreachable. There are so many roadblocks in place that you white folks have helped to give these sanctioned domestic terrorists that they're walking, they're killing people, and they're able to walk. Grand juries are setting them free, despite the obvious. They are setting, these cops are going free. They've always gone free. They've always gone free for, and the lesser things like beating a guy half to death that lives for something he didn't do, or the guy may have spit on a cop or something that does not deserve him being beat half to death. You signed up for this fucking job, and it includes shit like this. This is what you are supposed to be trained to deal with. You're not trained to beat people half to death when they step out of line a little bit, especially even if your life is in danger. There are other ways to, I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just saying this. This is something that cannot go on. Bottom line. I'm going to step away from that because I'm starting to ramble. I want to get back to the point here. The point is, why are we supposed to wait for them to step up and police themselves when they have clearly shown that they are incapable of doing that? That's the bottom line. Let's put all that other shit to the side and stick to the concrete facts here. Facts. And this is what I want to be challenged on. I want you people, anyone out there that thinks my videos are fucked up and brutal, tell me why we should wait. Tell me why they are. Are you going to tell us we have to wait? And that's the whole basis of this video. Why should we wait? Why shouldn't I go and arm myself, which I am thoroughly armed already, but, tell me why myself or someone else shouldn't go out and start wasting these fucking pigs. Is it because things are going to get better? Is it because the law is going to handle this? If we wait a little bit longer, is it because if we wait a little bit longer, things are going to get better? Is it because we can tell you with certainty that no one is going to die this year at the hands of a pig, at the hands of one of these sanctioned domestic terrorists? Can you tell us that? Is this why we should wait? Okay? Are you going to tell us that? Why shouldn't people go out and defend themselves and use deadly force to stay alive when dealing with these savages? I don't see any way around it. I don't see why. I don't see any hope. Number one, let's say that I don't see any hope. What is going to change from now? Because from now until 2016, we got a new year coming up. What's going to change that is going to keep people, that's going to stop the overall Gestapo dictatorship style law enforcement going on all over the country? The my way or the highway type of thing, where you can't say a word. You know, you say a word, you're liable to get your ass beaten to death or worse, die. You know, and what's going to change? What can you guarantee the people of this country, the potential victims of these sanctioned domestic terrorists, what can you guarantee them to put them at ease that hasn't been said over the last 40 or 50 years, in which we are still here doing this today, with the deaths of those two pigs, the deaths of numerous people around the country at the hands of these sanctioned domestic terrorists? After all the congressional hearings and all the meetings and all the experts getting together, trying to come up with solutions, of which none have materialized into nothing but the murders of two of your pigs in New York and numerous murders of American citizens at the hands of the same people, the sanctioned domestic terrorists known as law enforcement, the intimidators, the humiliators, the violators, the ones that basically keep its people in fear. They rule by fear, not by compassion. There is no compassion. Okay, forget about that. This is obvious in the thousands of uploads from citizens around the country, around the world. But we're focusing on the United States. There is no compassion. Go to YouTube and sit there for 2-3 hours and go through everything you find under police savagery. There's shit that pops up for that. Police tyranny. There's shit that pops up for that. And of course, brutality. Sit there and you will see for yourself in real time, from videos uploaded by everyday citizens like myself and some of you out there that are watching this video, and you will see that there is no compassion out here. You know, as I say in my other videos, who knows the untold thousands that have been killed in the last, let's go back just 20 years. Let's go back to the Rodney King beating. Let's start from there. Let's take 20 off. Let's take 20 years off, 2 decades, and move it up a little bit. You would think after that, after the mayhem that beating caused, where this man was almost beaten to death. He wasn't even killed. But nothing changed. Nothing changed. People are still being beaten every day, stomped. And folks, I go back to this every time. It is not all about murder. It is about the intimidation factor. People out here don't deserve to live in fear like that. And to be dressed down by these savages, and you can't say nothing back to them. You know, they can stand there and say anything they want to you. They can talk about how you're dressed and how your teeth are fucked up. Just fuck with you. And when you say something back to them, you're liable to get your fucking jaw broke. Shit like that. Stuff like that. Provoking a man. How do you think you're going to talk to a grown man and he's standing there and he can't say nothing back to you? Most men are not going to be able to do that. And that's how most of these guys end up getting beat to death, because they're not going to stand there and fucking take that from some fucking pussy hiding behind a fucking badge with a fucking gun. And if he didn't have, his ass would not dare step to that person. They would be fucking under the coffin. Not in it, they would be under that motherfucker. Okay, they wouldn't do that. No man's going to stand there and take that. No woman is going to take. Most women are not going to take that. They're going to fucking say something back to you. you fucking hump. You know, they're going to say something back to you fucking savages. And you know that. And you anticipate this because you want to fucking you want to use the powers of your God and your devil to, I don't know what you fucking pig's problem is. I don't know if you were fucked in the ass when you were fucking 12 years old and you're trying to punish people for that. You pigs out here doing that shit have scruples, man. Something's going on that you're taking that shit out on the public, or you've come into the job wanting to save the world and you found out that you're not going to be able to do shit, so you're just going to be a part of the fucking problem. You know, you're not going to be a hero, so you're going to be a fucking villain, a villainous hero. You know, I don't know what the fuck you pigs problem is with your savagery, but we don't have to sit here and wait for you to get your shit together. That's not how it works. And I don't know why people are not out here saying this. It is very clear to me. You know, and I don't have a fucking degree from MIT in sociology or any of that shit. You know, I'm just a guy that's observing what I see with my eyes and what I hear with my fucking ears, and making making an educated and having an opinion on it. Just having it, for lack of what I'm looking for, I'm voicing my opinion on what I see and what I am comprehending. You know, I'm using my basic comprehension skills to see what I see and forming an intelligent opinion on it, though brutal, but a logical opinion, if you will, for lack of however the fuck else I wanted to put it. I wanted to put it another way, but it didn't come to me, so we're moving on. And I'm going by what I see and what I hear, people. Nothing else. I'm not being influenced by anything but real-time evidence. This is what influences my opinions, not me thinking something else and thinking something and assuming something that I haven't seen. I'm going by what I have seen in real time. Thank you, YouTube. And thank you, all the citizens out there with cell phones and cameras. And thanks for police cams, because a lot of the shit that I've seen is from your own cams. So before I go, I asked the question, getting back to my main point. Why do we wait? Challenge me on that. Explain to me, why do we wait when nothing has been done for decade after decade after decade? That is the main question that started this video. This is where everything I've said has ended with. It's that question. Why shouldn't citizens arm themselves and be ready? You know, I don't give a fuck. There's criminals out there that need to be caught. Catch them. Do your motherfucking job. But for people out here being stopped for traffic and stopped for having a little weed on them, and somebody's drunk in the street, why are these people ending up dead? Why are nonviolent combatants ending up dead and beaten half to death? What the fuck is up with that? I mean, am I the only one asking themselves this question in its simplest form? You know, I want to keep this in its simplest form. I don't want to go into a whole lot of fucking analytic type shit. I want to just look at the raw, hardcore facts and try to have these questions answered without a whole bunch of other bullshit to detract from the obvious. You got that, man? Is this so fucking hard? Huh? Is it so fucking hard to just do away with all the bullshit and ask the simple questions without all the bullshit? Sit down, take a look at YouTube, and ask yourself, what the fuck is going on here? And why are we waiting? Why does this go on year after year and nothing is done. And these fucking sanctioned domestic terrorists are allowed to keep on doing it every year. There is a Michael Brown, there is a fucking 12-year-old shot, there is a fucking Eric Garner every year. And that doesn't include the people that can never come forward and whose cases will never be reported because they're dead, or the pigs were actually able to get away with it and have the police report stick, and it just never caught the public wave of opinion, if you will, and got to the media the way some of these stories do, and the untold beatings. And man, I will say this again before I go. It's not all about the murder. It's the overall Gestapo tactics, man, and the dictatorship enforcement styles of these sanctioned domestic terrorists. So, people, I'm going to leave it there. Ask yourself that question. Challenge me on it. Challenge me on it. Why we should wait when nothing's going to be done. You know, you heard it. Challenge me on it, and let's see what you can come up with to prove to me, to convince me that I should not have this view that I have, that we need more Ismail Brinsley's out here killing and reining in these fucking terrorists, which is all they are. They are terrorists on their own people. We fly halfway around the world to kill people that just threaten the United States, but we let them run free here. They have free reign here. As long as they live here and as long as they have a badge, they have free reign to terrorize America. You know what? I bet you there are a lot of smart people around the world that are looking at the exact thing I am saying here. And they see it very clearly. Not unlike Americans, you conservatives, you white conservative Americans that just choose to ignore it and choose to be pro-police. You know, you think the few good cops out here, that there may be take up for that. You know, you're not going to focus on the bad cops. You're going to focus on the few good ones out there. And that should overshadow the tyranny and the domestic terrorism, you know, of its own people, which itself is catastrophic. I mean, America represents itself as projects itself as the democratic overlord of the world, the base of which all humanity should be built off of, or some shit like that. You know, just the cream of the crop of freedom and goodness and apple pie and all that stupid shit. But we got domestic terrorists running around here free, sanctioned by the government, state and federal. But we're supposed to be the best place in the world to live, but we let these savages rain terror on its own people. How about that? Are we supposed to wait another year and let them get it in after, and let them get themselves together after decade after decade after decade? You know, it's been 2 decades, almost 3, going on 3 since Rodney King, and nothing has happened. We still got motherfuckers getting beaten, and nothing has changed. They're trying to hide it a little bit better, which is why you maybe don't see it that much, but it's out there. People should start reporting what they see. There should be a site out there that people can go to report shit that they see daily. Even if you don't have a camera, get in there. You know what? I just came up with an idea. But that's another thing for another time. The question has been asked, people. Think about it and get with me on it. I want the feedback. And I'm going to refine my videos as I go on. I know I'm a little rough here. And you know the issues I'm having with my implants being installed and all that shit. And the mask. Hopefully I can take it off one day, but moving on, I'm going to refine my delivery on these videos so I can be a little more articulate. I'm not the most articulate person when doing these videos. I'm doing them off the top of my head, and I am inspired to do them on the spur of the moment. And they're not always, my grammar may be fucked up in something here and there, but that's okay. You get my point. You see where I'm trying to go. And that's not something we need to focus on. But I bring it up because people are shallow and they tend to focus on unimportant things like that. Especially my own people, black people. They tend to focus on shit like that. And white people too. And everybody. Shit, what the fuck? Everybody does it. And we need to focus on the issues because this is serious shit here, people. And I'm serious about my views. And if you have an issue with my views, challenge me. Challenge me with them. Even you intellectual people out there, challenge me with them. And I will be happy to trade blows with you on that, because I think I can get with any motherfucker out there, intellectual or otherwise, on this subject. And quite a few other ones, and I will use a response in its simplest form. I don't need a whole lot of fancy fucking words or anything. I can just use simple logic, simple comprehension of what I see, and concrete evidence to fight your objection to what I say and why I have my views. I can fight you. I don't give a fuck who you are. Bring it on. I invite the challenge. And with that, I am out of here. Look forward to hearing from you, and stay tuned. I have a lot more on this subject, and I'm not going to beat this thing to death like these sanctioned domestic terrorists like to do their own people. Eventually, I'm going to move on. I have other issues that I am concerned about, not just this. This is the hot issue right now, and I'm on it because I have a lot to say about it, and I'm going to say a lot about it for some time to come. But I am also worried about other issues out here in the world, and we will address those as well. So with that, I'm out, people.